Hey everyone, this is Wade again. Gonna do another crown cutting video today, but we have some tall crown that's easier to lay down flat on my saw rather than stand up against the fence. And so I'm gonna show you how to do that. It's a little more complicated because you have to do a compound cut, but it's not all that difficult. So this is the space that we're putting it in. This is the great room here, and they've got a pan ceiling up here. And so it's all these inside 90-degree corners. So I'll be cutting a couple of 45-degree cuts because just in case you don't know, hope I didn't make you sick there with all the spinning. In case you don't know, when you are trying to find the angle that you're supposed to cut your pieces at, you just take the angle of the corner that you're in, and this is a 90, and then you divide it by how many cuts you're going to make the corner. So you'd be cutting a piece for this. You'd have a cut right there, and then on this wall you'd have a cut right there. That's a total of 2, so 90 divided by 2, these are going to be 45s, and I'll show you how to do that out on the saw. Okay, here's my workstation. Going to be using a DeWalt 12-inch sliding compound miter saw to do this. This is the style of crown that I'm using. It's about a 6-inch crown, and it's a 45-45 crown. So that means it's going to stand out from the wall at exactly 45 degrees as opposed to like 38, which is the other common style. But so this is 45-45 crown. I will be putting a little picture of this handy little list that'll show you how to set your saw up. But for 45-45 crown, and then we're going to be cutting in a 90-degree corner of the wall. We're going to be cutting these cuts at 45 degrees each. And I've written down here, so when it's a 45-degree crown and we're doing a 45-degree cut, your miter is going to set at 35.26 degrees. My saw actually has a 35.3 mark. And then we're going to set the bevel at 30 degrees, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so this is my piece. Again, it's 45-45 crown, and it's the same at the top of it as it is at the bottom. So I can kind of lay it on the saw either way. That part's easy. But I'm laying it on here so that the part that's closest to me, I'm going to call the bottom. That's the part that's going to sit on the vertical wall. And then the top part is where it's going to meet the ceiling. And so on these 45 cuts, the bottom is going to be the longer part of the cut. And because of the way that stands up, and I'll show you that at the end of the video. But this is going to be the bottom. So again, we're going to do a 35.26 miter. You want to come in and show where this is on the saw. So we've actually got a 35.3 degree mark. I'm going to set it about there, so it says 35.26 exactly in this little thing. And then I'm going to roll the bevel back to the 30-degree mark and set that there. And I'm going to make my cut. Again, this will end up being the bottom part of the board. It'll be the part that's sitting flat on the vertical wall. Okay, and I didn't take off quite enough, so I'm trying to be conservative. Okay, so that's how you do that side. Then I'm going to measure over to the other side, which is also going to be a 45-degree cut, but it's going to be the opposite corner. And so I'm just going to do all of this in the reverse. I'm going to turn the miter over to the 35.26 miter on the other side. I'm going to roll the bevel over to the 30 degrees on the opposite side. I'll measure, my measurement will go from this point, the long point, the bottom edge, to the bottom edge down there where I make my mark, and we're going to cut it at 160 3/4 of an inch just about, and we'll do this cut on it, and that'll be our piece. Okay, so crown is a little bit tricky. It's one of the more intimidating things for a do-it-yourselfer to cut, and even a new carpenter. So I told you that the bottom edge was going to be the longer edge, and sometimes that gets confusing, and you go, oh, don't I want the top to be longer, but you don't, and the bottom is the part that's going to go all the way into the corner. The top edge is not. So when you put that cut on those two pieces, and let's imagine that we're up near a ceiling, you can see those two long points along the bottom work their way all the way into the corner there, and then the tops come together as they lie on the ceiling. So that's how you do that. The reason that I cut this laying it down rather than standing it up against the fence like I would a smaller crown is just because it's so big and it's hard. You can use crown stops on your saw, but even then, some crown is just pretty tall and hard to work with. So, because if you cut this standing up against your saw's fence, you could just turn your miter to 45 degrees and not mess with the bevel, and just stand the crown up, kind of upside down on your table. I have another crown video that shows how to do that, but when you're dealing with bigger crown that you have to lay it down, this is the best, easiest way to do it.